The man kills a stranger and spends 16 years in jail. His family suffers the entire time, and even when he gets out of jail, he struggles to live the life of an ordinary man. But life turns unexpectedly against him. The movie begins when lights turn off in the Mirror Bar, and in the dark, someone fires 3 bullets. 4 days earlier, Adam walks down the subway with his drawing notebook and a couple of polythene bags in his hands. He reaches his friend's house, who initially refuses to allow him to stay in his vacant room in the house. But knowing that Adam has nowhere else to go, he opens the door and allows himself to stay in a very shabby room with heaps of useless things. Not only that, the friend sets up a job for Adam in the nearby bar too. Mike discreetly enters the car to receive the order. However, the gangster threatens to kill him for disrupting his game in the middle. Then the gangster gives him 3 guns, including the one that works by applying only 5 pounds of pressure to the trigger. He puts the guns in a paper bag and supplies them to Lef. Lef already told Mike to get himself a better dress, and now he is wearing a long coat like a rodeo clown. Lef has promised Mike's mother to look after him, and he is keeping his promise. But he humiliates Mike for bringing the guns in a paper bag. The scene shifts when Eli's mother burns in anger and grief because it's the day when the murderer of her innocent son is free. She cries and refuses to hear Eli, and he gets late to work today and receives a final warning from his employer. Adam meets his attorney, who interrogates him about his residence and job after his release from jail. She gets so annoyed that he is working in a restricted zone and warns him to stay away. He was on parole, and that was his last day here. On the other hand, Mike goes with Lef to get the drugs from Jamal. She gives him the required drugs and offers to sell heroin, which would give him 40 grand of profit. Mike wants to get it, but Lef scolds him for intrusion and lets him know that he is only there to watch and learn. Lef does not like polite behavior, as he senses danger in that and wants Mike to be smart too. But Mike hates these jobs and wants to stick with his rock and roll music band, which has had no success in the past 5 years. Lef wants him to take things seriously and stop thinking of becoming someone special. On the other hand, Adam rings his ex's doorbell and wants to come in. But she slams her door, warning her to never come again. Lef and Mike meet his friend. Suddenly, a boy named Jimmy arrives and complains about them for selling bad stuff. He receives a beating for acting rough, and then Lef gives him a small package of drugs in exchange for money and sends him away. Adam asks his friend about the old pals, and then he gets straight to the point. He wants to see his son, who must have become a grown man now. After 13 years in jail and 3 years on parole, he really wants to reunite with his son. His friend takes him to the nearby area, where he watches Jimmy play basketball often. He points at a boy, and Adam excitedly walks towards them and starts playing basketball. He notices Jimmy is a very angry boy and gets into trouble easily. He saves Jimmy from getting into a fight with a boy and advises him to learn to control himself. On the other hand, Eli and Mike meet to play music, and Mike shares with him the plan to sell heroin and make enough money to go to Nashville. Eli knows that this is a risky deal and won't like to discuss it. He is going through rough times regarding his relationship with girlfriend Lori, and he has planned to meet her after playing music. He lied to Mike, saying he had plans with Lori, but she did not know he was coming. Adam attends the group meeting, where he shares that it's the last day of his 16-year prison. He is clean now, as he has not done drugs in 5 years. Now, he wants to meet his son and become his superhero. At the same time, Ellie takes Lori for dinner and brings up the topic that he is worried about after Adam is free after 16 years. He does not notice, but he starts arguing and yelling at Lori, and she gets out of the car. On the other hand, Mike and Lef meet a gangster in the club to sell the drugs they bought from Jamal. The dangerous man mercilessly takes out the eye of a young man who failed to pay him money after many months. Lori sadly watches her white hair in the mirror, while Eli's mom mourns her murdered son, and Adam looks at the picture of his only son with immense love. Lef invites the gun dealer into the car and punishes him for misbehaving with Mike. After punching him in the face a couple of times, he throws him on the road. At the same time, Adam pleads with her ex to let him meet his son. But she strictly asks him to stay away from her and his son, or she will report his intrusion in the restricted area. Now, Lef wants Mike to get drugs from a new supplier and hand over an old gun to keep with him. Mike is in the mood for a new, shiny gun that he recently purchased. Even though Lef is keeping new guns to sell, he hands over 2 guns to Mike and asks him to take a friend along. Lef even tells his car that no one is allowed to touch it. Adam walks down the street and remembers the day he murdered an innocent boy at the same spot. Mike sniffs a little powder, and leaving Eli behind, he goes alone inside to get the package. He becomes terrified when he discovers a group of gangsters sitting in the club. But he demands to see the drug before giving him the money. As soon as he watches the drugs, he runs to take the money from the car and give it to the gangsters. They laugh at his cowardice, and on his way back, Mike feels bad for taking too many risks while he receives little money. He wants Eli to participate in his drug deal. Adam sits on the bench near the basketball court and draws a sketch in his notebook. Soon, Jimmy stops by and appreciates the art. He shares that he never draws a thing in his life, Hence, Adam tears a page and asks him to draw what he draws. Jimmy makes the drawing of a skeleton look natural. Adam shares that, growing up, he drew this picture countless times. Jimmy enjoys it and decides to keep the page with him. Mike returns with the drug package and gets angry to know that he will receive only $100 out of $200, as he has to give half to his partner Eli. But he forgot to take back the gun from Eli, which angers Leff, but he tells Mike to stay there for work. On the other hand, Jimmy excitedly shows his drawing to his mom, who immediately understands that Jimmy is meeting Adam unknowingly. Without explaining, she tears the page, and Jimmy walks out of the house to control the anger. That night, Adam's workplace had a lot of work to do. Additionally, the mirror bar's lights need repairs. At the same time, Eli meets Lori, who straightaway tells him that she doesn't want to be with him anymore. Eli angrily perceives it as Lori having found someone else, which is why she is kicking him out of life. But she makes it clear that she wants more than just these things in life and wants to see the whole world. Jimmy's mom calls his attorney to tell him that Adam has visited his home twice and that he wants to meet his son. She wants an attorney to stand by Adam, but she apologizes, as Adam can go anywhere as a free man. Later, Eli meets Mike and explains how Lori dumped him for someone else. The lights in the mirror bar flicker as Mike and Eli enter. Mike points towards Adam, telling him that he killed Eli's brother. He assures me that killing this man won't be hard. Jimmy's mom asks him to sit as she wants to ask about the sketch and who helped him make it. Jimmy initially gets angry, but he shares that a guy in the park taught him to make this. His mom tells him that guy visited the home too, and he is his father. Jimmy could not control his emotions, and when he hears that his mom does not want them to see him, he gets emotional. But she assures him that the man abandoned them by choice, and now they will do the same. That night, Mike and his friends stopped Adam on his way back home and beat him. As Adam does not want to get into trouble during the parole period, he gets wounded but does not hit anyone. Mike retunes and calls Eli to tell her that he beat Adam to death and the coward did not fight back. Adam looks at the wounds while Eli looks at the gun Mike accidentally left with him to kill Adam. The next day, Eli's mother watches Adam walk on the street, and then he sits in the car with his attorney. She tells him about Donna's concern that she doesn't want him anywhere near her and their son. She warns him to stay clear to avoid false claims, but it's hard for Adam to stay away from his son. Mike does not want to get into the dirty work with Leff and wants to do something else. Leff knows how lazy and useless a burden he is, he can't even pay his rent. Hence, he made him realize that he would have to pay if he stopped working for him. Although he is doing a favor by keeping him in his house and teaching him the work, because he is the son of his deceased sister. Mike cries when Jeff humiliates him to be the reason for his sister's emotional trauma and throws him away. The same night, Eli's mother collapsed at her workplace after watching Adam pass by. Unfortunately, the doctor says that she is going into heart failure due to enormous stress. The following day, Adam meets Jimmy on the basketball court, who refuses to talk to him. Adam pleads to hear his side of the story. But Jimmy believes what his mother told him, that Adam chose to abandon them and walk away. From the hospital, Eli goes to Lori's house to relax and sees her with Mike. He walks away so angrily without uttering a word. Mike feels sorry that they would have told him earlier about their relationship. He reveals his plan to Lori. He wants to move to Texas in a few days, and he would be happy to take Lori along. She happily agrees, and Mike tells her to get ready to move in a few days. Afterwards, he goes to the garage and steals Leff's gun and car. On the other hand, a girl flirts with Adam in the bar while Eli shouts and fires bullets from Eli's gun in rage. Mike, after stealing the car, reaches out to Jamal to discuss the deal about heroin. She promises that he will get $40,000 for supplying the package. Adam is surprised to see the girl waiting until the bar empties. She wants him to walk with her, but Adam shares that he is having a hard time fixing things between his son and his ex. She understands his situation and leaves the bar. Mike reaches out to the drug dealer to lend him money, which he will return after delivering the package of heroin. He is surprised to see that Leff is not part of his deal. But he agrees to lend him a loan anyway when Mike hands him over Leff's car keys as a guarantee. Eli's mom opens her eyes, and she tells him that she saw Adam walking in front of him in broad daylight the day she collapsed. She cries as she can't forget he killed her baby. Adam reaches the park and offers Jimmy money in exchange for his time, so he agrees to meet in the evening. The next day, Eli feels so disturbed, remembering the events of the days his brother was murdered. He starts damaging the property, and his boss fires him. Adam once again reaches out to see Donna, who this time allows him to enter the house. She accuses him of abandoning them and destroying their lives. She struggled a lot all these years to keep things right for her and her son. Each day became longer, which is why she never visited him in jail. Donna doesn't admit it, but she is struggling to keep herself away from Adam. Adam assures her that he loves her and that he will make things right. But Donna asked him to leave. Adam leaves his phone number on the table. Donna cries a lot as he leaves. Then he goes to meet Jimmy, who asks why they abandoned them. Adam shares how his friend received a beating from Eli's brother, and he took his gun to threaten him. But that boy turned on him, which angered him so much that he killed the guy. He regrets that, but he admits that it was not an accident. He tells him in tears that he spent all the years in jail missing them, and only this kept him alive. Eli follows Mike and corners him on the street. He warns him to stay away from Lori. That night, Jimmy told his mom to stop controlling him. He wants to meet his father, but Donna only wants him to tell her everything about their meeting. That night, Donna calls Adam, and they come up with an agreement to tell Donna whenever he meets Jimmy. That makes him so happy. On the other hand, Lori tells her friend she is moving to Austin soon. Mike takes money from Jamal's man, and without getting heroin, he gives the money. The boy who was about to return in 5 minutes never does. At the same time, Eli enters Adam's bar. Mike goes straight to Jamal's house and accuses her of trapping him. But her guards threaten to kill him. After betrayal, Mike reaches the man he took a loan from and gives him $10,000. When he tells Mike that he does not have the rest of the money, he injures Mike's eyelid, telling him to bring the rest of the money or he will take out both eyes. Adam cheerfully tells his friend that Donna finally talked to him. She agreed that he could talk to them. Eli hears the conversation and feels more rage. At the same time, in desperation, Mike robs a grocery store at gunpoint. While Eli puts a gun on Adam and reminds him that he is the brother of a deceased man, at the same time, Mike enters, asking for money. The light turns off for a moment, and Eli kills Mike. Adam pleads with him to put the gun down, as he will tell everyone he saved the bar from robbery. But Eli kills him too. The police accuse Mike of Adam's murder. While Leff kills Lucky and goes to jail, Jimmy receives Adam's sketchbook, which has his picture on the first and last pages. Lori moves out of the city. Jimmy mourns Adam's death with his mother and decides to sketch like his father.